Now at 10.
I'm Archit Chaudhry in Atlanta. What lawmakers and community activists are doing before a crucial DACA hearing next week at the Supreme Court. That story next.
And more jobs coming to Waynesboro. I'm Devin Johnson. I'll tell you how coming up next.
Skies are clearing. Now we're getting set for a few showers later in the week and a bit of a cool wave forecast coming up next.
I'm John Hart.
And I'm Dee Griffin.
This is News Channel 6 at 10 on MeTV.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 10 on MeTV.
And new at 10 this election night, Burke County voters say yes to bringing fulfillment centers to the bird dog capital of the world.
Devin Johnson is live in the newsroom now, and Devin supporters say the city will see a boom in jobs because of this.
Yep, the main goal is to make the city of Waynesboro more attractive to bring jobs and investments. It's already been approved by the county, and tonight 651 people voted yes to improve the tax exemption of the e-commerce fulfillment centers. With the click of a button, online orders are shipped to you without leaving your couch. And soon, people in the CSRA could receive online orders faster. The people of Waynesboro are voting in a special election to bring fulfillment centers to the area.
It's going to bring in revenue that's going to help us to keep from raising taxes to our citizens, but then it's passing off the cost and then looking over things that's going to help benefit the city.
Mayor Carswell tells me cities and counties tax inventory on site at industrial plants. He says the city never qualified for a small e-commerce distribution center because of this.
And we're trying to get new vendors here in the city of Waynesboro, so we definitely get an e-commerce or distribution place, small or large. Then we get to tax them, and that's money we get to use in our community to help better the community.
If the citizens vote yes, then they can target the small inline distribution centers.
Because we're working to get more jobs here, but we got to have a place for them to stay, because we don't want everybody to move, come here, work, and then go back and live in Grovetown or in Columbia County or somewhere else. We want them to be able to stay here.
One voter says having small distribution centers in the area opens the door for more people to have jobs outside of Plant Vogel.
We need more jobs. We need more people to have jobs. You have a lot of people that don't have jobs at this time. So I believe that would be something great to bring and also grow Waynesboro.
Without taking away the hometown feel of the bird dog capital.
So we can't stop the growth and process just because we want the hometown feel. I think that we should continue to grow just like everyone else growing. And as we grow, more opportunities will present itself.
And the mayor of Waynesboro adds the next step is to get more housing for the people coming in for these new jobs to call Waynesboro home. John and Dee.
All right, Devin Johnson live in the newsroom for us tonight. Devin, thanks. And speaking of Waynesboro, you just heard from Mayor Greg Carswell there, and he will remain the mayor, officially re-elected to a second term tonight. We were there with him as he watched those results come in. He beat his opponent, Brenda Lewis, with 61% of the vote since he's been in office. Carswell has brought about ordinances, including a curfew for teenagers to lower the crime rate in Waynesboro, and says he has more ideas to bring to the table for term number 2.
As soon as tomorrow, we're working on more plans, and so these are things that we're going to implement, and we're even working on things for our autistic kids in the community, where we're going to have things for them, where we don't always necessarily give things toward them, but we're even working on things such as that. So we have a lot of things that we have to implement, but we just needed the other 4 years.
Yeah, Mayor says he is looking forward to continuing to bring the citizens of Waynesboro together.
And we are following several other races in our area tonight, including the town of Blythe, Georgia, in Richmond County. The top 2 vote getters of tonight's race will be elected to the city council. Those 2 are the incumbent Noel Cargina with 30% and Brent Weir with 21%. On the same day, Blythe voters went to the polls for the city council race. Their mayor and his 2018 opponent were in court for the second time. Blythe's mayor, Philip Stewart, and Cynthia Parham went before the Georgia Supreme Court today. Stewart won by 4 votes. Parham argues some of Stewart's votes were obtained illegally. John Martin, he's said to be connected to Stewart's campaign, and he's facing criminal charges for buying votes and giving alcohol to a minor. A trial court has already ruled Parham does not have enough evidence to show the questionable votes would have challenged the election outcome. That's why she brought the case before Georgia Supreme Court today.
Last year, there was some drama with the election. Do you think that impacted people coming out this year or not. I don't know about other people, but it didn't me because I was going to vote anyway. I feel like that's my responsibility as a citizen.
I don't think it made any difference. I think the people that showed out last time will show up again this time.
The deadline for the Supreme Court's ruling is March of next year. We have the rest of your local election results from across the CSRA. Just go to our website, WJBF.com. We are your local election headquarters.
Right now, temperatures holding across Georgia, Carolina in the 50s and 60s. Thompson at 57 degrees, 59 in Evans, and a 63 in Aiken. Currently downtown Augusta, we're at 66 degrees as the skies are gradually clearing. Jiffy Lube Skyview Network at Bel Air Road and I-20, all is quiet under those clearing skies. As far as the showers, they're pretty much long gone. We didn't have many in the first place, just a couple across our southern counties in the metro a couple hours ago. So tomorrow morning, start your day with sun and 53. By 10 a.m., we're at 63. And by noontime, sunshine and 67. Winds out of the northeast right around 5 miles an hour.
All right, George, in Atlanta, lawmakers, community activists, and dreamers being reminded to renew their DACA registration ahead of a Supreme Court hearing that could mean deportation for some. Archith Seshadri rejoins the WJBF team, this time as Atlanta Bureau Chief, to break it down.
For the past 7 years, DACA, or the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, has helped around 700,000 young immigrants get temporary protection in this country from being deported. But 2 years ago, the Trump administration ended the DACA program. It heads to the Supreme Court next week. This week in Atlanta, the Latin American Association, as well as informed immigrants, are urging DACA recipients to renew their application. Without that, they could lose their driver's license, lose their jobs, or even face the threat of deportation. Georgia Dreamers, those who are part of the DACA program, make up about 20,000 people. Many of them say that they're not sure what to expect, and this uncertainty is certainly stressful.
Losing DACA would mean losing our ability to work, our ability to drive, and I think that the biggest thing is that DACA has lifted the shadow of deportation from our shoulders, and so if DACA goes away, that would be a threat once more.
The entire world knows that we're here to stay, and home is here. The United States is the only home we've ever known. It doesn't matter if you're from Mexico or the Philippines or from Nigeria. Undocumented people come from all over the world. DACA recipients come from all over the world, and next week on November 12th, we're all coming together in solidarity in Washington, D.C.
The U.S. Supreme Court will hear arguments next Tuesday, November the 12th, about DACA, and the fate of the program could be decided as early as June of 2020. Reporting in Atlanta, Archith Seshadri, back to you.
Welcome back, Archith. The Supreme Court did not stay those lower court orders. That means those who are currently or previously enrolled in the program can still submit applications to renew their DACA. It typically takes about 3 months on average to process.
Well, tonight, Columbia County Commissioners will hear a second reading of a plan to add streetlights to one neighborhood, and we found there may be a bigger need on major roads. Columbia County says the lights haven't been a major concern because they simply don't have the funding for them. It would be on the next SPLOST list, but the county says they're still looking at the current list, which goes until 2022.
I ride my bicycle down this road all the time. There's never any street lights. You know, I can't see anything. The drivers don't notice me, so it's very dangerous. I also deliver food down here, and when I drive down here, I don't see anybody or anything.
You know, we haven't had them, and I don't miss them. The traffic is pretty busy on a Saturday. It's pretty busy during the day, but then at nighttime it kind of thins out.
If voters were to vote for streetlights to make the next SPLOST list, it wouldn't begin until 2023.
A bill banning almost all abortions in South Carolina will head to the Senate floor for a 2020 election year fight. The Senate Medical Affairs Committee approved the so-called Fetal Heartbeat Protection from Abortion Act today. It would allow abortions after fetal cardiac activity, aka a heartbeat, can be detected, usually about 6 weeks after conception. exception. The committee also restored the exceptions for pregnancies caused by rape or incest. The other exception is when the mother's life is in danger. And of course, similar bans are being discussed in other states and in the courts, and one has of course been passed in Georgia and is now facing legal challenge. An advocacy group in Columbia suing the Department of Motor Vehicles. The organization says the suspension fines and fees put low-income residents at a disadvantage. The SC Appleseed Justice Center says the suspension fees are often imposed on drivers who are unable to pay the fines. In the lawsuit, the organization alleges there is not a clear process to determine if a driver can pay the fines, and as a result, licenses are suspended automatically.
We want them to stop automatically suspending people's licenses, obviously without assessing whether the person has the ability to pay in the first place. We want them to lift the existing suspensions that have been imposed for that reason. We want them to stop imposing reinstatement fees on people without, again, assessing whether they have the ability to pay those reinstatement fees.
North Carolina and Virginia are other states pursuing similar legal action. The fee right now is $100 for each suspension. That does not include the fines and fees associated with the original violation.
It's disgusting. Yeah, I mean, a chicken sandwich is not worth a life.
Dinner turned deadly as police say an argument over the Popeyes chicken sandwich led to murder, and tonight the search continues for the suspect. A story after Georgia's forecast.
A mild day across Georgia and South Carolina. We started it with 50, wrapped it up with 78. Both those numbers above average for this time of year. 85 the hottest, 25 the chilliest. Forecast coming up next.